Welcome! It's Miss Laura from the Lehigh Library, and we are doing all things giraffes today for our online kids club. So our first thing we're going to do is teach you how to do this fantastic giraffe marionette. Okay, everyone. In your kits that your parents or grandparents have picked up, you will see that you have two eyes. You have two of these fun little scrunchy things. You'll have 4 strings, and you'll have sticks that are in an X. And then the paper that you will have, you'll have an instruction sheet. You'll have 2 other sheets, brown and yellow, that you're going to cut into strips, and then you will have your head and your body. So first thing you're going to do is color spots on the giraffe. You can do it any color. I mean, I did kind of boring, just brown. But what if you did like a rainbow of color? That would be so cool. Did you know that different species of giraffes have different spots, and they can tell what kind of giraffe is by its spots? I thought that was kind of cool. So anyway, after you've done the spots, then you will cut out your paper, okay? So you're going to cut out on the solid lines. Then you'll have 2 pieces, one for the head, one for the body. And then you're going to fold on the dash lines. So let me tell you this coolest trick. So when I fold something, I will score it first. When you score something, you are kind of breaking the fibers in the paper, and it makes it so much easier to fold. So I would take a ruler and a pen or a pencil or even the end of scissors, and I would just push down, not, hard enough that you're going to break through the paper, but just enough so that it breaks a few of those fibers, and then it will make it super easy to fold. Look at that. Isn't that great? Super easy. So after you have folded everything, you'll glue it together, and you will end up with 2 boxes, open-ended boxes, so you can see through them. So that's your body and your head. Now at this point, you could take your head and you could put on the eyes. You could use your extra yellow paper and put on ears, and you can put on the horns, those little squishy, bouncy things that I made for you. So, or you can wait and do it later. Let's move on to the legs. Now this part you're all going to have to be pretty dang patient with. You need 4 legs and 1 neck. And by the way, did you know that a giraffe's neck has the exact same amount of bones as a human's? But they're obviously much bigger. So, all right, here's not a tricky part, but it's going to take a minute. So take a strip of brown and a strip of yellow. I'm going to get 2 here. And you're going to fold these on top of each other to make our squishy, bouncy things. So you will glue the bottom, and so it makes an L like that. And then you're going to fold it on top of each other. So I'm going to scoot up just a little bit. You'll fold the brown on top of the yellow, and then the yellow needs to go on top of the brown. And then the brown on top of the yellow again, the yellow on top of the brown, and you just keep doing that. How easy is that? And you're going to end up with a little kind of, like I said, a bouncy thing, for lack of a better term. But that's kind of small, don't you think? So I have given you enough strips that you could glue another strip on to each one, to the brown and the yellow, and then keep folding it over on each other. And that will give you, look at that. That's a much better leg. It's a good size for a neck. And then you can kind of stretch it out a little bit. So after you have done all 4 of the legs and 1 for the neck, then you're going to glue them on your giraffe. So you'll have, see, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then neck. And, if I were to glue this one on, I just held it when I glued them. In your instruction sheet, it's going to say that you can use clothespins, which would work, but you can also just hold him like that. So after you've done all of that and you've got the cute little eyes and the head and everything on, then it's time to put on your strings. So you're going to tape your string on each side of the sticks. So you can kind of see that. And then tape two on the head, two of your strings on the head, two of your strings on the body, and you will have your marionette. You might have to cut the strings a little bit so that you can, make it the size that you want. So let me show you the finished product. Here it is. Isn't that so fun? I did this one pink, because I have to have a giraffe with brown spots. So, isn't that so great? I hope that you have a fabulous time. Be patient when you're doing it. You might have to do it a little bit at a time. Okay, everyone, I have some more great stuff. We've made the puppet marionette and it was so great. I hope you had a great time. I couldn't decide between these two books, so I included both of them. So I'm going to read to you here in a minute a book called Not Friends. But I also loved the book Giraffes Can't Dance. And there's an animated version of it that will be on a link below that you can click on. And because I think giraffes are so cool, I have an informational video from National Geographic that's in our Tumble books that will also be linked below. So I hope you enjoy all the stories and all the giraffe stuff, especially your marionette. Here is a great story by author-illustrator Rebecca Bender. Not Friends. It's true that getting along can be difficult. If the bird could tell you, he'd say he can't stand the giraffe. But if the giraffe could tell you, he'd say he can't abide the bird. The bird, you see, makes funny faces at the giraffe. And the giraffe sticks out his long tongue at the bird. This makes the bird twitter, tweet, 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 in the giraffe's ear. That makes the giraffe invade the bird's personal space. Some days the giraffe has bad breath. Other days the bird eats too many berries. Oh, ew, gross. Which are high in fiber. Frequently, the giraffe makes loud noises when he chews his food with his mouth open. And often, the bird scoops up a slimy worm in front of the giraffe. Sometimes, the bird prunes his feathers just above the giraffe's head. And this makes the giraffe sneeze. Every time the giraffe lets out a sneeze, the bird is blown right off the telephone wire. And every time the bird is blown off the telephone wire, he flies up to perch right on the giraffe's horns. When the bird perches on the giraffe's horn, the giraffe swats him with his ears. Get out of there! And when the giraffe swats the bird with his ears, the bird pecks him with his beak. Ow, ow! The pecking makes the giraffe shake his head until they are both dizzy and woozy. They both tumble to the ground. Ah, this is a disaster. One day, the giraffe loses his patience and shouts at the bird. Scram, bird! The bird gets fed up and shouts back at the giraffe, "Get lost, Giraffe!" So they do. That night, there is a seriously scary storm. Crack! Boom! Bang! Oh, all the telephone poles crash to the ground. The giraffe wishes he could hide his eyes under the bird's feathers so he wouldn't see the lightning. And the bird wishes he could hide under the giraffe's ears so he wouldn't hear the thunder. The next morning, the bird feels so glum. He has nowhere to sit and no one to pick and peck. Well, the giraffe feels lonely too. There is no one around to pester and perturb him. But with no one around to pester him, the giraffe has time to think. And the funny thing is that all the giraffe can think about is the bird. What can he do to bring the bird back? Aha! The giraffe agrees to help the telephone company for a while. What an idea! And he doesn't have to wait long for the bird to return. And he also doesn't have to wait long for the bird to start making funny faces again. Oh man! Smack, smack, tweet, tweet, flap, 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 thud, thud, peck, 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 peck. Now, it's true that getting along can be awfully difficult. And if you ask these two, the giraffe might still say he can't abide the bird. And the bird might still say he can't stand the giraffe. But between you and me, we know better. The end. See you next time.